Agreement with her is that she could use the car.
Correct.
Did you have an accident with the car? Don't look up at the sky, look right here.
Yes.
I assume that your girlfriend did not like the fact that your old girlfriend had the car. You don't have to be a genius to figure that out.
You're right.
This is Judy Justice. Kendall Ruiz and Isaac Thompson are suing Isaac's ex-girlfriend, Donna Schulte, for towing fees and car repairs from an accident.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case number 3025, Maurice Thompson versus Schulte.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Ruiz, this is your boyfriend.
Correct.
How long have you been together with him?
It's been on and off for about...
Like 2.5 years, Your Honor.
And you have a child together?
We do.
How old is that child?
He turned 1 in January.
Do you live together?
We do.
For 2.5 years?
Most of the 2.5 years, correct.
When it wasn't the most, were you living with Miss Schulte?
No.
When were you with Miss Schulte?
3.5 years ago, at least.
When you were with Miss Schulte, were you living with her?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have any children together?
1.
How old?
He will be 4 in August.
Do you see him?
Every week. Or every other week.
That going okay?
Yep.
Yep, it's not an answer.
Sorry, yes,
it's an
Your
answer. Very good. Okay, now, when you were with her 3.5 years ago, you had a car.
Yes.
And that car was a 2016 Jeep Renegade.
Correct, Your Honor.
In whose name was that car?
The vehicle is in mine and Kendall's name.
When was it put in your name and Kendall's name?
At the time of purchase, it was...
2021.
Yes, it was...
May I have it, please? Thank you. Okay, so it was purchased by the two of you April 6, 2021.
Correct, Your Honor.
And at that time, you two were together.
Yes, Your Honor.
But then there came a time when you had a breakup.
Yes, Your Honor.
When was that?
It was around December of 2021.
And where did you go?
I went back to move in with my parents.
Did you take the Jeep with you?
I did.
Did you have another car, Miss Ruiz?
I actually drove the Jeep for a while until...
No, he said he took the car and went back to his parents. That was in December of 2021. What I'm asking you is, in December of 2021, did you have another car?
I got a new vehicle, yes.
In December of 2021, when he left. So it was agreed between the two of you that he would take the car, even though it was in both your names?
Yes.
Okay. Who was making payments on the car?
I was, Your Honor.
So that was the agreement. He would take the car, he would make the payments, you would get another car.
Yes.
Great. And then you moved back with your parents. Now tell me how Miss Schulte, with whom you have a child, got possession of the Jeep.
So at the time, I was not able to afford the vehicle.
Okay, so you took it, but you had payments. What were the monthly payments?
I believe they were $367.
So how did it come into Miss Schulte's possession?
I did not need the vehicle, as I had another car at the time, and she was in need of a new vehicle. So I offered her the deal that if she were able to put the vehicle in her name and keep insurance on it, that she was able to have the vehicle, but she did not follow any of the rules for the
Well,
agreement.
she can't register the car in her name, sir, because there's a loan out on the car.
Right. But
And they're not going to allow somebody off the hook. That would be the two of you who are on that loan.
Right.
Right? They're not going to allow the two of you off the hook and just have her on the hook. The loan, as between the loan company and the two of you, she's nobody.
Right.
So she can't register the car in her name unless she pays it off.
That was the idea behind the agreement, Your Honor.
Well, I don't know what the idea was. You mean the idea was that she make the monthly payments?
Yeah, she was to continue making the monthly payment.
That's okay. She can make the monthly payment. She still can't register it in her name as the owner because there's a lien on the car by the people who gave you the money to buy it.
Correct.
So she can't register because there's a lien on it, on your title. Do you have your title?
I do.
And I want you just to look at your title and tell me what it says under lien holder.
It says the bank that has the title to the vehicle.
Right. And they actually hold the title. She can't register it in her name. So in effect, what you said to her was you can use the car as long as you make the payments.
Correct.
Because I can't make the payments anymore. Okay. And then you went back to Miss Ruiz.
Correct.
Okay. And when did you go back to Miss Ruiz? Month. This was in
January of 2022.
So a month later.
Yes.
Now, your agreement with her is that she could use the car.
Correct.
She has use this car as long as she made the payments.
And had insurance on the vehicle.
Okay. Did she make the payment in January?
Late.
Did she make the payment in January?
She did.
What about February?
She did.
What about March?
I do not believe so.
Ruiz and Isaac Thompson claim Isaac's ex-girlfriend, Donna Schulte, owes for towing fees and vehicle repairs from an accident.
Okay. Did she make the payment in January?
She did.
What about February?
She did.
What about March?
I do not believe so.
How long did you have the car?
Until April.
Did you make March's payment?
I did.
Do you have proof of that?
Well, I have 3 payments, so January, February, March.
Yes. The answer, I don't have to see them. I believe she has them. So she paid January, February, March. What happened in April?
She was not making the payments. There was still...
She made January, February, and March. Now we're in April.
Yes, she did not make the payment. We did not get the Jeep back until May 3rd.
Just a second. What happened in April? Did you ask for the Jeep back?
I was asking for the vehicle back shortly after giving it to her because she wasn't holding up her end of the agreement.
What was her end of the agreement? I just told you she couldn't register it in her name because she doesn't have title. Neither do you.
I understand that.
Right.
The agreement was that she was supposed to continue to make the monthly payments and she was supposed to put insurance on the vehicle. She was not making the payments on time and she did not have insurance on the vehicle.
No, but she made the payments. She made January, February, and March.
Late,
now,
which affected my credit.
Well, that's too bad. That wasn't your agreement. Your agreement was that she was to make payments. There was nothing you agreed that she had to make the payments on time. I assume that your girlfriend, Miss Ruiz, did not like the fact that your old girlfriend had the car that was titled partially in her name. I want you to answer that question, sir. It's a very easy question. You don't have to be a soothsayer and you don't have to have an advanced degree in psychology to know that your current girlfriend and the mother of your child, of your new baby, doesn't like the fact that you gave a car that's in her name to your old girlfriend with who you have a child. You don't have to be a genius to figure that out, right?
You're right.
Oh, right. So old girlfriend didn't like the agreement, but you had made an agreement with her. Now, did you have insurance on the car and was that part of your agreement? Don't look up at the sky. Look right here.
It was, yes.
Yes. Did you have insurance on the car?
Insurance was on it for a little bit, but then I was trying to find a new insurance company.
So the answer is no.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then he had every right, despite the fact that you made the payments, to get the car back. Because if something happened to that car and you were driving it and it didn't have insurance because you were trying to find different insurance, because actually you have no liability on this thing. If you have an accident, they're going to go after the owners of the car if you have nothing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. That was your deal and you breached the deal. So now he asked for the car back because you didn't have insurance on it. You may have made the payments, but you didn't have insurance on it. And you asked for the car back in April.
I asked for the car back numerous times.
I don't care whether he asked for the car back numerous times. You had no right to ask for it back until you knew she had no insurance. The reason you asked for it back is because Miss Ruiz didn't like the fact that Miss Schulte had a car.
That is not correct, Your Honor.
No.
Your Honor, I did not have a problem with her having the vehicle because I didn't want to have it anymore. I got my own vehicle. I was not upset at the fact that she had it. They do have a child together, and I do know that she needs a vehicle to get their child around.
Are you telling me, Miss Ruiz, that it didn't bother you that your name was on the title and therefore you were responsible for that car? And that car was being driven by Miss Schulte?
Correct.
Right. Well, just a second. If the car was just in his name, he can give it to whoever he likes. But it had your name on it.
Yes.
That's psychology 101. She had the car. You have a certain responsibility. You work.
I'm actually a 24-hour caregiver for our son. He has a disability.
Okay. So your lawsuit is when you got the car back, it was damaged.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you have an accident with the car?
Yes.
When?
April 25th.
Did you fix the car?
I was going to. I was having somebody.
The question is, did you fix the car?
No, I didn't.
And at that time, you had no insurance on it because your insurance had lapsed.
Yeah.
Do you have a photograph of the car?
I have the police report as well.
I'd like
Would
to
you
see
that?
and the photograph of the car. I'll look at the police report and
There's
just show it to me.
attached to
Does the yellow form show the mileage? They bought it 2021.
I think so. Yeah, take a look. So ultimately, you were told that they were going to report the vehicle stolen unless you returned it. That's what the police report says.
He told me after.
Just a second. Well, you told the police the accident happened in May, on May 3rd. Schulte, police then asked you about the accident she said she was involved in. Schulte said it occurred earlier that day on 5/3/2022 near 1500 block of Grenada North. We asked if you contacted the police. She said she did. Schulte said she struck another woman's vehicle and they both pulled over. Police officer indicates I felt Schulte was being deceptive when I asked her if she called the police about the accident. And I don't think there's any other police report. Did you file a police report about this accident on May 3rd?
I'm guessing.
Is not an answer.
I'm guessing that is the day that they called the cops to get the actual vehicle after the accident.
I asked Schulte about the accident she said she was involved in. Schulte said it occurred earlier that day on 5/3. That's what the police report says. Oh. You know, there's a saying, if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. You were involved in an accident. The damage was to the front end of the car. You hit another woman's car. Is that right? That's what
Yes,
you
I
told the
did.
police. That's what you told the police. Whatever it is, you're responsible for the damage. She's responsible for the damage. Oh, yeah. It's mostly to the bumper, right?
There was a lot of underlying damage making the vehicle undrivable. There was damage to the transmission and some problems with the oil after.
That's all right. I'm going to take a look at the estimate. I'm going to take a look at the estimate, then I'm going to ask you a question, Mr. Thompson. Take a look and see what the...
The car?
Yeah.
I'm using an 80,000 mile valuation. I don't know how many miles were on it. It wasn't on the form, but it's 10 to 12,000 for a trade-in value based on the 80,000 mile valuation on it in good condition.
Now, you signed an agreement with your lender that until this car is paid off, that you would maintain insurance on it.
Correct.
Did you?
I did not. I took insurance.
Shh.
Kendall Ruiz and Isaac Thompson are accusing Isaac's ex-girlfriend, Donna Schulte, of damaging their car in an accident.
Now, you signed an agreement with your lender that until this car is paid off, that you would maintain insurance on it.
Correct.
Did you?
I did not. I took insurance.
Shh. You signed an agreement with a bank that you would keep insurance on this car because the car really belonged to them until it was paid off,
Yes, Your Honor.
right?
Yes.
And you did not.
Correct.
When was the last time you made a payment on the car?
The 21st of last month.
The car has been with you since when?
May 3rd of 22.
So a year.
Correct.
And is what you're telling me that you're current in your payments, but you can't drive the car?
Correct, Your Honor.
Where is it currently located?
At my parents' house. It is sitting in the driveway at my parents'.
Mr. Thompson, is what you're telling me that you relied on her statement that she had insurance on this car, which is why you dropped the insurance?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and you know that you're not allowed to do that,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So to fix your car is going to cost you, according to this estimate, $6,000.
Correct, Your Honor.
How much do you think of that as your responsibility?
Realistically, none of it.
No, legally. How much? If you stopped making payments on the car a year ago, who do you think the bank would come after?
They would come after me.
Because she had nothing to do with the bank.
Correct.
Because their contract was with you. They say to you, we're giving you this money. In return for that, you have to keep this vehicle insured so that we're guaranteed to get our money back, right? And you failed to do that.
Yes.
You can't do that. That's going to cost you $3,000 because you have a responsibility. It's going to cost you $3,000 because you breached your agreement with him. He breached his agreement with the bank. You breached your agreement with him. Do you understand?
Yes.
Your responsibility was to maintain insurance on the car pursuant to your agreement, and he had a written contract with a bank to maintain insurance. Did you ever ask her, by the way, to show you proof of insurance?
I did on a few occasions, yes. And she would tell me that there is insurance on the car, but not actually show me anything proving that there was insurance on the vehicle.
And you asked her for proof of insurance?
And I asked...
Just a second. And you asked her for proof of insurance, and she wouldn't show it to you?
Correct.
Often?
Yes.
And you didn't take the car back then?
I tried numerous times. She refused to give it to me.
Oh, yeah, I don't believe that. $3,000 judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished here.
This court is adjourned.
I don't think that I should have paid anything at all.
I think it was not correct.
I guess lesson learned from not trying to help people out, right?
It's a little upsetting. I think she's definitely 100% in the wrong. She lied to us numerous times.
Honestly, it was just like a moment where people stop and you just get so busy looking around and you have an accident.
She crashed our vehicle. It's inoperable, and she told us multiple times she would pay and fix the damage.
And now here we are responsible for having to pay for it.
No, it was totally fine after I had gotten to the accident, so I'm not really sure where that information's coming from.
It is not
was
drivable.
not-
it hasn't
does
been
not
driven
work.
over a year
Guess what can you do, right?
because she
wouldn't give it back.
refused to give it back.
He actually didn't tell me anything about that until after he filed their police report.
One of the text messages, she said, I can't give it back.
So I know nothing about like him wanting the vehicle back until after that conversation.
It's upsetting how it turned out.
I'm never going to help him out ever again.
Worry about my own self.
You know, this isn't the first of these kind of things that we've had. The story may be different, but the people have to take away that if you have a contract with a bank, with a landlord, with a mortgage company, the mortgage company is not going to accept the fact, well, I found Joe Schmo to take over my payments, so I'm absolved of that responsibility. As between you and the company, you have a responsibility. I think it's actually very interesting, and I'm not so sure true, if they've been making the payments on this car and it's been undrivable for almost a year, or actually for a year. It's absolutely the wrong thing to do to turn a vehicle that you have a responsibility for contractually, because there's a loan, to anybody else. And if you do so, and you know, you say she had to maintain insurance and put it in her name, well, you can't put it in your name because the bank owns that car. You don't
I think that's a great analogy with the mortgage company as well. You know, you sublease a room to a friend and you make your own agreement with them. But the background check, the credit check that the company, the mortgage,
you mean a lessee,
or the lessee are going to use doesn't apply to that third party that you deem acceptable. So, yeah, I agree that.
So you'll always be responsible for the rent unless the landlord decides to allow you to sublet without
that's
permission.
their agreement with
That's
the third
their
party,
agreement,
not
right?
yours.
This was not the bank's agreement with
the defendant.
Right.
Yeah.
His body and your car collided.
Yes.
So you were running across the street.
Thought I could make it. Didn't make it.
You're a very, very lucky kid. They say cat has 9 lives. People aren't that lucky.
This is Judy Justice. School teacher Rachel Haida is suing Virginia Allen for car damage and emotional distress after Virginia's son hit her car.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Haida versus Allen.
Thank you. Ms. Haida, your case is about damage that was done to your car when Miss Allen's son, which would be this young man over here, hit it. You were in the car. He was on foot at an intersection. The defendant's argument is that you were driving carelessly and you're just lucky that she's not suing you. Your case has a sort of interesting twist, which I will find out about, because Miss Allen's son, whose name is?
Keegan.
That Keegan was playing some, it's hard for me to imagine, some stupid, idiotic teenage game that other people on the internet, on something, TikTok, that it's a sort of a game he was playing. You may be able to see me better if you trim that, you know, so it's not below your eyes. I tell that to my grandchildren, just a little, so I could see, you know, I could see your eyes. It's And your mother would love it, just a little bit. Yeah,
Yes.
perfect. See, he's not intimidated, Miss Allen. I see he's not intimidated by anything.
Yeah.
I can fix that.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, not to worry. Okay, so tell me when this incident occurred.
It actually occurred on April 27th,
What time of day?
approximately 3:45 p.m.
And you were picking your kids up from school.
Yes.
How many children do you have?
I have 2 of my own, but I'm a carpool mom that takes turns with 2 other moms. So I had a total of 5 children in the car that day.
Tell me what happened.
So I had just picked them up, and I was in the right-hand lane, and the light was red. So, of course, I was idle, waiting for the light to turn green. And I'm definitely one of those people who always hesitate at a green light because...
Don't give me a whole
Sorry, yes.
story, just tell me what happened.
Yeah, so then I started to progress through the green light, and then like instantly, seconds after I progressed, like we were colliding.
Okay, you were colliding with Keegan. Tell me where his body was on your car.
He was running towards like my driver's side window, like my door, and I only saw him as we were colliding, going towards my door, my driver's side door.
Okay, do you have photographs of where his body and your car collided? I would like to see the damage to the car.
Oh, okay, yeah. I do have that.
While she's looking for that, Miss Allen, you weren't with your son that day.
I was not.
He was coming home from school.
Correct.
And he walks home?
Yes.
I have actually a quick little video of like the whole thing. You click on that one right there. Should I click on it or should I wait for you? Yeah, because I don't want it to play.
Miss Allen, have you seen photographs of the car?
I have not.
Okay. So it was on the side.
Yes.
Is that the rear passenger side?
Rear driver's side.
Rear driver's side, right over the wheel.
Yes. I believe even my collision report gives like the X's on the drawing.
No, I'm just looking at it. Kevin, I would like you to show Miss Allen just so that she sees the same photograph that I'm looking at. And Keegan, you could get up and look at that photograph with your mother so that you've had an opportunity to see it as well. So now you can return that to her. Keegan did not collide with her so that the damage to her car was in the front. He collided on the side of her car. So, you know, I'm not really good at physics, but if he made contact with the car on her side, unless the car was being driven sideways, he hit her. I'm just telling you that, right? I don't know the circumstances around it, but his body hit her car, not her car hitting his body.
If I may.
Well, you have no idea because you weren't there.
Correct.
Right. And what happened after he hit the car? That's pretty serious damage, which means that the person or object that hit your car was going pretty fast. Mm-hmm. Because it wouldn't make any difference how fast your car was going. The force of the person hitting your car caused that kind of damage. Got it so far, Keegan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Perfect.
School teacher Rachel Haida claims Virginia Allen's son, Keegan, ran into the street and hit her car, causing damage and emotional distress.
Okay, what happened next?
I screamed, pulled over to the side, like within nanoseconds, ran out to go check on him. And luckily a nurse had ran out kind of simultaneously as me. And we both just kind of like started examining. I let her touch him, but I was there examining him with my eyes and asking him questions. And I kind of let her take control because you could see that she was a nurse. She had a, tools, nurse tools around her neck. And I kind of just let her do her routine, and the police had came in instantly. Our neighborhood is very good about that. Police are very nearby, and as soon as the police arrived, I ran straight to them so I can explain what happened and give information.
And what happened with Keegan?
So from what I could see, the nurse had eventually walked him over to the sidewalk, and while I was giving the police like my report, ambulance showed up to take him away.
Did they
They did.
EMS take him away?
That could partly be because I am a teacher, so I'm CPR certified, so I know one of the big things you do is you tell someone, go call 911. So I did turn to a bystander and say, call 911. So the bystander went to call 911. So I think that's one of the reasons why the ambulance came.
Were you called to the hospital, Miss Allen?
I was.
And did you go?
I did.
What time did you get there?
I arrived about 5 o'clock, shortly after 5.
Did you have a conversation with your son?
I did.
First of all, how is he feeling?
He is confused. He didn't remember a lot about what happened. He said last thing he remembered, he was at school, and next thing he was in an ambulance.
That's what he said? He didn't remember anything else?
He did not remember very much.
Does he remember now?
He does.
Oh, good. Well, I could understand him being a little confused maybe then, but I'm glad he sort of remembers now.
Yes.
Okay, it's about 3:25. You're just getting out of school, Keegan.
Yes.
You walking home alone?
No, I was walking with some friends, and when I got to the crosswalk, what I remember, the red hand was still flashing. And my uncle's visiting from New Mexico, so, you know.
I don't want to hear a whole story.
Okay.
I don't want to hear a whole story about why you were anxious to get home.
I said goodbye to my friends, started running, thought I could make it, didn't make it. And when I got...
So you were running across the street?
Yes.
And you were running across the street, according to you, because you saw the light was flashing that it was going to turn red.
Yes.
And you thought you could make it.
Yes.
Your Honor.
But shh, just a second. Yeah. You thought you could make. Can we please go to that map? Okay, do you see where that map is?
Yes.
Is your car the red car or the blue car?
Blue car.
Okay. And the picture of the man, Keegan, that would be you.
Yes.
So when you got to the sidewalk, according to you, the light that you could see on the other side of these 4 lanes was flashing.
Yes.
And you started running across the street.
Yes.
When you were standing there, you said goodbye to your friends. I want you to think about this very, very carefully. When you looked at the light, was the light flashing?
From what I remember, yes.
What do you mean from what you remember?
I don't remember it very well.
Okay, so you don't know whether the light was flashing or whether your light turned red.
Yes.
So you don't remember. So it's possible that the light was red when you ran across the street.
Yes.
That's better. Now we're getting better. Okay. Now I've read the complaint and the answer, and I'm so happy that you weren't injured when you did this reckless thing. So if you don't remember, I have to rely on the plaintiff. The plaintiff remembers she had a green light, and you did not. So if you have no firm memory, which you just indicated to me, so far you're in the wrong. You understand that?
Yes. I did do something really stupid.
What?
I did do something really dumb.
Oh, perfect.
I do know that, and I realize that.
Okay. Well, if you did do something wrong, and your parents are responsible for your negligent acts that caused damage to her car, do you acknowledge that you owe her deductible that she had to pay to have her car fixed?
Yes, and we did offer to fix the damages and pay for the damages. It's more the emotional distress that I have an issue with.
Unfortunately, I fixed the car after they had reached out to me. I had already had the car fixed. It had been like 3 to 4 weeks when they contacted me after the accident.
Did you contact them?
I did not.
How did you get her?
Well, because we found out she's suing us. So then we reached out to say, may we fix the damages to your car?
Okay.
Yes.
And I assume, Miss Allen, you sound like a reasonably intelligent woman, that if one of my children were hit by a car and taken to the hospital, I might decide that this driver was reckless, if it was reckless, and sue them. You decided not to do that for a variety of reasons.
Correct.
So I'm glad that you agreed to fix the damage. But there's something in this complaint that I would like to pursue for a second. Keegan,
yes.
After this incident, did you post anything on the internet about the incident?
A few weeks later, I did post a picture of myself in the hospital, yes.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
You have anything that he posted on the internet?
Within 24 hours, I received a video of him recording himself saying, and I quote, "I made that car my bitch."
May I see that?
That is this. And again, this is within 24 hours.
My face looking pretty.
You guys saw the coyote. Come on the big street.
Feeling pretty good though. Feeling like,
right here.
yo, I made that car my bitch. I pretty much took that car like a champ.
School teacher Rachel Haida has accused Virginia Allen's son, Keegan, of running into the street and colliding with her car.
Now, Keegan, I would like you to tell me what that means. I would like you to tell me what it means. I really don't know.
I guess I probably meant that.
No. I don't want you to guess anything. You know exactly what that means in your head. So don't give me a guess. What does it mean?
I was pretty okay for being hit by a car.
That's what it means. I made that car my bitch means I'm pretty okay? Really? Is that what you meant? Or did you mean you took that car?
Well, you see the minimal damage I have from getting hit by a car.
That's not my question to you, Keegan. I mean, you know, I've not heard that expression, particularly that expression before with regard to a car. But I don't think that that means I collided with a car and look, I only had minimum damage. What does it mean?
That I took it well.
Not you. It says I made that car my bitch.
Yes.
What does that mean? I really did this okay. I turned out okay. I wasn't that injured. That phrase has a particular meaning, and I would really like to know what it means. Not what you would like to say it means, but what you meant when you posted it.
I do not understand the question, Your Honor.
Okay. In my mind, that statement means I took the car. That this was some sort of sport.
No.
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 You were just rushing home to see your uncle.
Yes. He's a family friend. I've known him all my life.
You aware of a game sort of on TikTok where kids try to beat a traffic light?
No,
you aware of that? Not.
No.
Never seen it.
No.
Okay. Is this the video of the accident?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look. Just a second. Have you ever seen that, Miss Allen?
I have not.
To be honest, Your Honor, I have never seen it either. I have not been able to get myself to watch it.
Oh, so we're all seeing it for the first time. How interesting. Okay, let's go.
This is a good song. Are you sure you're
There he is.
What? Oh, God, hit a kid.
Clearly, all the other cars were going, so she wasn't even the first car in line. All the other cars went. Who is this?
That's my father. Colin.
Would you like to move over so you can see it again?
I was able to see it.
Okay, so you understand what happened. All the other cars going. We're going to play it one more time. One more time. And I want you to see where your son starts to cross the street when the traffic is moving. Light changes. Cars start to move.
I can't see. Oh, yeah.
Well, then move over, sir.
Well, just the light.
Move
the
over.
light's just right in between.
I don't need any communication. Just move over and look at it. The light's green. Cars are moving. The plaintiff's car has the dash cam on it. Your son is running across the street. Green light. She wasn't even the first car. 2 cars went before her. Now you see that, sir?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so you had a deductible. How much?
$1,000 deductible.
And how long did it take for your car to be fixed?
I want to say it was like 2 weeks and 2 days, like right over 2 weeks.
What did you do for a car for those 2 weeks?
I was able to borrow my father's car for
Fine.
on and off. Yeah.
Great. So you had your father's car. Very good. You're a very lucky kid.
I know.
You're a very, very lucky kid.
I know.
They say cat has 9 lives. People aren't that lucky. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
This court is adjourned.
I think she was very fair. I'm glad she was able to hear from both sides.
I think the judge's decision is fair. I feel like the game is hearsay, but my son clearly was in the wrong.
So I'm a teacher, and hitting a child is one of my worst fears of all time, and it happened, and it's been pretty traumatic for me, to be honest.
It was very frightening. I got lots of new white hair and wrinkles, and it's obviously very distressing.
Severe anxiety driving down that street, consistently fearful of hitting children. Like anywhere I go, just constant fear.
To hear that your kid has been hit by a car.
Police officers are the ones that informed me that he did it on purpose.
Disappointment.
So they knew from the very beginning.
It might fun.
Kind of hoping that this would be like a good lesson for him, that he would finally learn to make better choices.
I hope he learns, and obviously still needs to.
So I was hoping that this is the thing that's gonna turn him over. And when I saw that video, I was like, oh, or not.
That's one lucky kid and one lucky family.
Oh,
What a fool. I'm not sure he gave me an adequate explanation of what he meant when he posted that video. You know, I have my own thoughts about that. But he is one lucky kid because he went into that car with some force.
Yeah. No, I've seen you, leave the curb at a blinking hand, a short distance. But there were cars that were going already. It was very clearly a Frogger type situation trying to weave traffic.
What did you call that?
Frogger. Like it's an old video game where you jump through traffic and try not to get hit by cars. So when I saw that video, that's exactly what I thought of.
Yeah, well, I learned something. Frogger. They're complaining that they got some T-shirts, but you didn't send them half of the ones that they ordered.
There were a lot of changing designs that took up our time, that took up our money, that we didn't charge him for. That is not our fault. We don't make the design. I don't know if that makes sense.
That sounds like a yada, yada, yada.
This is Judy Justice. Bailiff Cassandra Britt is standing in for Bailiff Kevin Roscoe, and Law Clerk Alexi Mincer is sitting in for Law Clerk Sarah Rose. Isaiah Kamchan and Brandon Uloa are suing their former supplier, Manuel Garcia, for the cost of a T-shirt order.
Order in the court. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case number 3072, Kamchan Ulola versus Garcia.
Thank you. Who is Mr. Kamchan? You were starting up a business, T-shirt business.
Correct.
The defendant was also in business. He makes shirts. I assume you were having them made to sell them either online or at events.
Correct.
You don't have a store, is that right?
Online store.
Online. What's the name of your company?
Risen Athletics.
Reason?
Risen.
Risen. Spell it.
RIZIN space athletics.
And where are they incorporated?
Ceres, California.
In the state of California.
In the state of California.
And it's a corporation. You have a license. You've incorporated it.
Correct.
Here.
There's a website, about 9 items of clothing.
May I see it, please? Make it go. Could you go back to, okay, I just want to see where they order them from. Great. And what's the name of your company, sir?
MFP Studios.
MFP Studios.
Correct.
Where are you located?
Los Angeles.
How long have you been in business, Mr. Kamchan?
About a year and a half.
Did you make any money the first year you were in business?
Yes.
How much?
Approximately 10,000, a little over.
Nice. In that first year, did you get any merchandise from Mr. Garcia?
We did.
So you made some money from the merchandise?
Not from his clothing, actually.
Not from his. What other company do you deal with?
We did wholesaling through Champion, the website.
Champion is a wholesaler? I thought they were a retailer.
So they have a website where you can wholesale and buy a bunch of garments that they allow you to reprint on and sell. So that's what we did originally.
I found an Instagram page for MFP Studios. The website is coming soon.
I have the website currently closed right now.
Currently closed.
Yeah.
You what?
Yeah, our website opens and closes like periodically, so right now it's actually closed. But if you would like, I can go and open it for you guys so you guys can take a look at it.
I want to know why it closes, Mr. Garcia. What does that mean?
So usually the way that my company works is that we do custom manufacturing for specific brands, so it's very customized. But at times I do produce blanks on my own where I'll put on my website. Currently we don't have any, so my website is closed until we produce them and then we post them on our website. I don't know if that makes sense.
Doesn't make sense. How much money did the plaintiffs send you to produce T-shirts for them? How much money
for
did
the T-shirts?
How much money did the plaintiffs send you to produce T-shirts for them? And I'd like to see the order.
Okay.
Can I see all the papers?
Would be the invoices for the T-shirts.
Thank you. Did they pay all of these invoices?
Yes.
Lex, would you add up these invoices for me, please? How many T-shirts were they supposed to have?
Total should have been approximately 320.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
How many did they receive? That's what this case is about.
Correct. They should have received at least 180.
So about half.
Correct.
It's not true.
Just a second.
Okay.
And you got paid.
Correct.
Well, at least for that number of shirts, they get their money back, right? Duh. For the number of T-shirts that you didn't send them, they get their money back.
Well, there was a couple other things that were taking into place, so that's
like
kind of
what?
the issue. So there was a lot of changes that were being made.
Hold on a second, Lexi.
7996.
7996 is the total of all those invoices. Great. All I'm saying to you, Mr. Garcia, this is the case that we hear about. They're complaining that they got some T-shirts, but they were not what they ordered. You acknowledge that they didn't get half the T-shirts at all, and you didn't make them, and your website is now offline.
Well, that happens like every...
I don't care.
Yeah, okay.
I don't care. I don't know any other company that takes their website offline. I mean, I don't understand that.
I could give you a list of a couple.
I don't want you to give me a list of any. I want you to tell me why they're not entitled to at least half their money back.
So like I was stating, there was a bunch of other changes. So them not being happy with the garments that they received, that at the end of the day, I can't control. That is what they've ordered. I sent them pictures.
I'm talking about the ones that they didn't receive, sir, not the ones that they did.
Okay.
They were not happy, which they will tell me about the half that they received. You acknowledge that you didn't send them half of the ones that they ordered.
Correct.
Well, why should they pay for those? That's what I'm asking you to answer.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm trying to explain. So
try to explain it to me so that Alexi understands it. He's much smarter than I am.
So when it comes down to custom manufacturing, there's a lot of other components that come into place. There were a lot of changing designs. There was a lot of remaking of screens for us to get the design onto the T-shirt that we had to do, that took up our time, that took up our money, that we didn't charge him for. So that's kind of where everything in terms of like the money goes to, is what we're saying. It's like, okay, if you're going to be making all these changes and then you're not happy with it, if you can see, I have pictures of me sending them a print of the T-shirt and them saying, oh, the print looks different. At the end of the day, we don't work on the designs. We don't change their designs. Whatever they send us is what we put on the T-shirt. If it doesn't come right on the T-shirt, that is not our fault. We don't make the design.
That sounds like a yada, yada, yada.
Isaiah Kamchan and Brandon Ulloa claim their former